YouTube, Dawson Rider here. This is going to be my review for Mighty Morphin, and this was the origin of Lord Zedd, and this is going to go the way you think. It was a good issue. I really liked it. I think it adds a lot of depth and lore, but it basically didn't have any surprises, at least in terms of what I thought was going to happen, except maybe one thing. So basically, Zorfram ends up being Zedd. That was kind of overly teased. Was pretty much what most people were theorizing. Again, they were kind of almost beating you over the head with the hints. So you have Zorfram is going to the council about the Zeo Crystal, and he's clearly frustrated with them, but he's not really speaking up about it, like at least to them. He's kind of voicing his concerns to this one guy and sort of in the background, you know, being upset about it, but he's not really going after them specifically. But Zardus is like really up in arms about it. He's like, oh, recall nope. He doesn't think the council's doing a good job, and I feel like he's really vocal about everything, and he's like really pushing, you know, not Zardus. I keep getting their names mixed up. Zardus is really pushing himself. No, Zardus is really pushing Zorfram. And basically they're frustrated with the council. You know, how do you be on this council and not get granted the rank of master? Basically, as that's happening, this mysterious assassin is attacking Eltarians and getting information on where the Zeo Crystal is. And before he can, he's stopped by Zorfram and Zordon. And in the skirmish, Zordon gets poisoned. And this guy is clearly aesthetically very Lord Zedd-y. You know, I think he maybe was meant to be a red herring for like, oh, this is actually Zedd. Maybe I just missed some signals. I reread it to be sure. But, you know, just the color looks like him, and then the hands look like Zedd. And when he gets his face punched, and then the hood comes off, when you look at his underface, it looks just like what Zedd looks like later. So a part of me was like, is this meant to be Zedd from the future? Like, trying to ensure he's created? But if that's the case, why would you need to know where the Zeo Crystal was? Maybe I'm thinking too much about it. But regardless, after Zordon is poisoned and everything, Zordon's like, you have to use the crystal to end all this war and everything. And Zorfram goes back to the council, and he finally blows up at them. Like, all his biting his tongue and politeness, like, stops. And he just goes off on them, and he's like, look, all of my people are dying while you discuss this by committee. He's like, you guys are so wise and you think you have all this power, but like the real stuff's happening while you're out there doing your discussing and your thinking. And so he's fed up with it, and he goes to take the Zeo Crystal to use its power, and when he touches it, he then gets blowed up, or not blowed up, but like his skin comes off, just like they mentioned in that line, I think it was in Season 3, that like what happened to Zedd after he touched the Zeo Crystal, they kind of expand on that. I still have a theory about this Zeo Crystal for a different video, but that ends up happening, and Zardus takes him out of there, and he says, like, look, Zorfram died today, but something new will be born, and you see this image of, like, frayed Zorfram in this chair that's very much, you know, reminiscent of Lord Zedd's throne. But it was good. I liked it. I think it adds a lot of depth to Zedd's character, a lot of interesting stuff going on with Eltar. Again, there was no surprises. Like, I feel like they were almost hinting at it too strong, so there was really, I was kind of hoping for something that would have taken me by surprise with it in that regard. And I also find it to be a little bit repetitive, the fact that both of Zordon's old friends are now evil, where you have Zorfram becoming Zedd and then Zardus leading the Imperials. And they were hinting at some stuff about, like, Eltar not being as noble as you think, although now it seems to just be in regard to the way they're kind of, you know, kind of like high and mighty douchebags, like the Jedi Council. But I was kind of hoping that maybe the Imperials were always involved with Eltar. Maybe Eltar are kind of low-key bad guys. Or maybe not bad guys, but almost like the League of Assassins or the League of Shadows, where they think they're doing good sometimes. I don't know, maybe there'll be more to it, but I definitely think there's some interesting stuff happening. One thing I do find interesting, though, is sort of the parallels between, like, Zordon, Zofram, and Zardus and the Council and their frustrations with their My Way or the Highway and higher knowledge, and then now Zordon of now and his sort of My Way or the Highway. And it makes you wonder whether if Zordon's either repeating the mistakes of the Council, or maybe he's acting this way because he believed the Council was right back then. I do think there's some really cool parallels there, which I really like, and I'm interested to see. Maybe Zardus now has taken Eltar in a different direction, but I like that there's this sort of area, in everybody's opinion, whether it's the Eltarians or Zordon or the Rangers, there's room for debate about who's right about the approach, and also, you know, again, the parallels between the past and present. So I did really like this issue. It just unfortunately didn't have a surprise about it. I mean, I guess I wasn't needing a surprise, but I was just hoping there was a little more to it since they were so on the nose. But who knows for later. But I still think it was a solid issue. I would give it a 4 because I still think it was good. I love backstory and lore issues like this. Again, I just was a little bit disappointed that it was so easy to guess what was going to happen. But what do you guys think of Zedd being from Eltar? What are your other theories about what happened and what might happen? Let me know in the comments. As always, until next time, like, comment, subscribe, climb the steps, ring that bell so you can hear my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.